Shelbyville, Indiana, a small town of 18,668. However, to me and many others, it's not just a town, it's a home. My name is Donna Winkler, I'm 19 years old, and I was born and raised here in Shelbyville, Indiana. I currently live in Walkerville, a small suburb off the northeast side of Shelbyville. I spend my time riding my bike, making videos, and non-stop StarCraft. After living here so long, I started to wonder how Shelbyville became what it is today. So now I'm on a journey to find the history of Shelbyville. My journey starts online, but after searching through several websites, I found a bunch of information you would probably find in some school report written by people who probably don't even live here. I wanted something better than that, so I decided to ask my grandma. She's lived here her entire life, and I know she'll have some interesting facts about good old Shelbyville.
Shelbyville used to be a bustling place, a very busy place with lots of stores and lots of people in it. And my grandparents were immigrants that came here from Italy, and they were the first ones that ever strung Christmas lights up across the street. They lived down on Taylor Street, and they strung it up across the street and everything. They also had a real estate company here in town, and they owned several of the buildings around and about. But on Friday night, everybody would come to town on Friday night, and it was such a busy place that there wasn't a place to park. You had to go around just trying to find a place, but we had lots and lots of stores here. We had dime stores, and we had soda fountains, and we had drug stores and department stores, shoe stores. Men's haberdasheries is what they called them back then, were exclusively men's stores. And it was a nice place because you could come in, and as teenagers we were let off to go. We had to be back at that car at a certain time, and we were let to go do what we wanted, had whatever little bit of money, and just do what you please, and enjoyed it totally. There were 3 movie theaters here in town at one time. The Ritz, the Strand, and the Alcazar. And the Strand's where it is now. The Alcazar's where Leanna's is at the moment. And then next door to the little restaurant down on Broadway Street was the other one, and that was the Ritz. When they built the new high school, and by the new high school I mean what is now Shelby Apartments, when they built that, the people were very, very mad because, and I got this from my father, because it was out of town, and they were very upset that they built it so far out of town. At that time, the high school was there in what used to be the old ad building across from the library. The area down where they built the high school had to be filled in because that land through there was all swampland, and they had to fill it all in and everything else before they could even think about building anything out there. And how they did that those days without the equipment, I have no idea, but they did. Riley Village at one point was never there either, and that's out on 9. And my parents were offered Riley Village in that area for $3,000 for the land, but it was through the Depression and nobody could buy it. Nobody had the money to get it. We enjoyed Shelbyville. The square has been changed several times. First you drove through it, then you drove around it, then it was the square, then it was the circle. It was just depend on what or who was in office at the time that it was going on. Other than that, Shelbyville has changed quite a great deal. At that time there also was not a lot of empty buildings sitting around. Everything was moving and growing as it went along and stuff. Shelbyville is a very nice rural community to live in. It needs a whole lot of work done to it because it has been, it's running down, and the inner housing in Shelbyville needs to be fixed because if not, it's going to be slum areas before long. I think they could do a lot more with Shelbyville than what they're doing because we need a lot more retail places in Shelbyville. Walmart's fine, but you got to have more than just Walmart to make a community grow. And every town around us is growing. Columbus is going by leaps and bounds. Greenfield is out of sight. And Shelbyville needs to keep up, and they're not. That's pretty much what I think of Shelbyville.